Some parenting questions here today. Dave, you're
What do you want to know?
Okay, here's the guy.
What do you need to know?
Here's the guy right here.
Go ahead. Throw him
Pop
at me.
quiz. How many kids do you have?
Don't answer. That's really up in the air.
True.
I don't know. Remember what John Mellencamp was asked recently? We did a put up or shut up question about how many grandkids do you have? And he said, I don't know, a lot.
A lot.
It's 3.
Yeah.
Yes, 3.
It's not that many.
It's not that
really
many.
not. If you had 12, okay. He has 3, you know. Okay, who's in the wrong here? Is it the mom or is it the restaurant where mom bought something for her child? Her name is Catherine Butteritt, and she says that she and her 6-year-old son were out to lunch recently along with her boyfriend at a place called Common Market in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's in the South End section of Charlotte. And as their meal was being prepared, I guess they were up paying and leaving. Her son, her 6-year-old, was pointing at the counter and saying, I want some of that. And there was some candy there. And so mom was busy and trying to put her purse away and that kind of thing. So she just says, okay. And she's ready to buy the candy. It was Skittles.
And he's pointing to something on the counter, but as I was trying to order and pay, I was just like, what, baby, what? And he's like, look, they have freeze-dried Skittles. He handed it to me, and I handed it to the cashier.
I saw the Skittles. They're in a little glass or a little plastic bag, and they're very colorful, you know. And she admits, Catherine Butteritt, who you just heard, that her 6-year-old devoured the Skittles and loved them. But soon after that, the boy, the 6-year-old, said, I don't feel right.
And then he grabs his head, and he said, my mind is wobbly. And I was like, something in my mom brain was like, there's something wrong.
Those weren't Skittles.
They were not Skittles. They were not Skittles.
My mind is wobbly.
What were they?
They were laced with THC. They're what's called...
THC is illegal, correct, in North Carolina?
This is Delta 9.
Aha!
We talked about this.
Delta 9.
We just talked about this.
Well, all I heard was Delta 8. I was on the Delta 8.
Delta 9.
Now, 9's what you want.
Delta 9.
Delta 9 and 10, we're right there, baby.
8's old. That's old.
I thought 8 was the new thing.
Yeah.
So this kid tasted the rainbow.
Oh, and apparently loved it. Really enjoyed it.
And lived in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was loving it.
Without
yeah.
realizing it, just gave it a ringing endorsement. My mind is wobbly.
That's what I want.
Delta 9.
Well, the mom still didn't understand. She's like, I don't understand.
What kind of a restaurant will serve Delta 9? I mean, I can't imagine.
Fun one.
It's
I've seen mints on a counter at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I've seen cum, but not much else.
That's what I'm picturing.
What was the name of this place?
It's called Common Market in South End.
Is that just a group of places where you order at one?
That's what makes me wonder.
She's ordering and paying there at the same spot.
Yeah.
And he sees the candy, which
Mommy, I want.
and says, Mama, I want that. And she's busy, so she does what all parents do. Get it.
Get it.
Fine, take it. Buy it.
Shut up.
Whatever. I mean, many do that. Her boyfriend is trying to explain it to her. She still doesn't understand
He's
it.
like, it's Delta 9, and I still don't know what that means. And he's like, it's like pot.
Yeah.
It's the strongest number.
It's the highest they
It's
got.
the highest Delta there
It's
is.
9.
Of all the deltas.
That's the worst one. That's 9.
Delta 9.
What do you know about Common Market?
Okay, what it looks like is it's just that. It's a market. But it also serves sandwiches and food.
Okay.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looks like a great place for an adult.
Right.
Oh.
Well, kids are fine, too, as long as you don't buy the...
That's just it. But I think because it does serve beer, you can see they have beer coolers and things.
Okay.
So I think that you have to be somewhat of a responsible and pay attention parent if you're going to go here.
Can any retailer sell that? I thought you had to have like a
license to...
I think you got. I mean, look, if they can sell it in any gas station, I bet you can just sell it if you. It's not illegal.
I thought you had to get it at one of those apothecaries.
Do you think you have to be 18 or 21, Biggie?
Yes,
Not 6.
But she is 21.
but she is
21.
21.
She bought it.
Yeah,
I mean, she bought it. She's saying, well, the guy should have told me. Because the guy behind the counter clearly saw the boy say, I want
Those
that.
aren't Skittles, ma'am.
Right, yeah.
You don't want those.
Last kid who came through here tasted the rainbow.
He's a
Where'd
rainbow
that crusty
taster.
old timer come from?
I just feel like that she says he saw my son want the Skittles.
Okay,
and
let's see. One ham and cheese.
He's probably
he's
one
high.
roast
Yeah,
beef.
He's high.
the guy. Cashing you
and
out
one
on.
bag of legal weed.
Yeah, right.
He's on the 9.
He's very
What do you think a box of? What do you think the price point is
I couldn't even guess.
for Delta 9
Well,
Skittles?
she didn't say, but she apparently was not taken aback by the price.
overwhelmed
You know,
by it.
but you'd think there'd be a lot more than a bag of Skittles, though.
I do.
So
Are they really Skittles?
no, they look like
They
Skittles,
just look like
and they
candy.
don't say Skittles. They, in fact, they had the picture of like a Rastafarian on the front of it. I saw it.
Oh,
That's
Mom.
a dead giveaway.
And it has a little down in the corner. It has a little pot leaf and the number 21. Like you have to be 21
Okay.
to consume. But she didn't see that. Artie, you know something about selling Delta 9. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a son who's got 3 separate licenses from the state of North Carolina to sell, transport, and distribute those products.
Okay. So
There is a license.
you have to have a license to sell it then.
Yes.
Okay.
But you also, I'm sure, have to have a license to sell beer, which they sell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd equate them, basically.
Yeah.
So here they are selling sandwiches, beer, and weed. Thank you, Artie.
Legal weed.
Legal weed. It's not really weed. It's Delta
It's not
9.
even weed.
It's 9.
It's synthetic, right?
This has opened my eyes to something. You can get this here, and I thought this kind
Why
of...
am I just learning about it?
You're missing out.
I heard this last week on Delta 8. Remember last week they were telling us
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Delta 8.
You know what it is? It doesn't give you the thrill though that you're looking for.
I'm absolutely shocked by this.
In your mind, it's you're doing something a little illegal.
It is. It's funny. I guess it's how advertising works. A week or 10 days ago, I had never heard the words Delta 8 before. And for whatever reason, we're talking about synthetic marijuana on this program. And 100 people call and say, Delta 8, Delta 8. Since then, I've seen flag after flag. Delta 8, Delta 8. We say, oh, Delta 8 here. You know, I pass it every day. Delta 8 is here.
Yeah.
Now we have something called Delta 9. But
Can't keep up these days.
the real question, though, is who
How's the kid?
is at fault? The kid's going to be okay. They took him to the emergency room.
Yeah.
He came down.
Did he have a bad trip?
All right.
Did they ask him how it was?
Okay.
Where you been? Rainbow.
Kid came down. Mom says, I don't want this happening to anybody else.
I felt like it was just such a crazy series of events, but also it could happen to somebody else.
Now, the common market representatives have said, we have signage for these products and we keep them behind the counter. And they are admitting that their server should have asked, should have made clear this is a marijuana laced product. This is a synthetic marijuana.
But you're saying they weren't behind the counter.
They are behind. He pointed at them.
Oh,
They
he
were behind
pointed
glass.
at
They were behind glass, and he pointed and said, "I want this."
man.
And
Every
Mom,
kid just pressed their faces up against the glass.
exactly. That's how it is.
This place looks awesome.
Road trip for Biggie.
I mean, the food sounds phenomenal. The beer selection's great.
Do you see any prices, Biggie? I wonder what
Yeah, how much is this?
like
The
Delta 9
sandwiches-
Skittles cost.
It doesn't have any Delta 9 stuff. I think you'd have to look there. But I mean, the sandwiches and the food is very reasonably priced. The beer looks good. I want to get something. Some of their sandwich names are great. The Thrillas from the Grilla.
Oh, man, right. I bet the food tastes wonderful.
Well, you're going to have to go to the South End.
Matt, you're talking about Delta 9 now. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I've been partaking with marijuana for quite some time, and man, I touched that Delta 9 stuff, and it's just different, and it's kind of scary that it's like, oh, it's legal, it's no problem, because I know a lot of people that go through psychosis. I got a friend that works in the treatment center, and they got a lot of people coming in there that like are basically like kind of destroying their heads when they constantly smoke this stuff.
Jeez.
And it's so accessible and it's so easy, and it's just like a totally, I don't know. It's kind of just led to make people believe it's fine, but
That's exactly what I thought of it. When you see it, that it's legal in a state where marijuana is illegal, think, oh, well, this must be okay, I'm glad you said that. I mean,
It's all chemical, yeah.
must be.
I mean, it's
has
not.
to be.
It's not like marijuana.
I don't
Which is
know.
grown.
I believe it is chemically made. Right? I don't know much
I
about it.
thought you knew the difference.
I don't know much about it. See, this is dangerous. You need good old-fashioned marijuana,
Yeah.
grown from the ground, plant.
That stinks when you smoke it.
Yeah, that's right. C-Mac, you're talking about Delta 9, too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in law enforcement, and those products are not really regulated very well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have you don't have to be 18 or 21 to purchase it. You could be 2 years old, just
Oh.
as long as you can hand money to the cashier.
What?
Really?
That is ridiculous.
Huh.
How can that be?
Yep.
So do you blame the restaurant, the server at all who was getting the food for selling this to the mom, or do you blame the mom for not realizing this is what it is, and she gave it to her 6-year-old.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, but the problem is the business did nothing wrong.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he sold it to a mother and presumably her adult boyfriend.
Correct.
You know, I mean, they had a kid with him, but
yeah. Well, but she says the server saw the kid go.
Yeah, but this person's just taking orders at a register. You know,
I'm with you. I mean, he probably
it's not a full service sit-down restaurant.
It would have been nice had he said, "Thank you very much, C-Mac." Like, but
he's busy too.
Could where you want to go.
It's not his.
not his. That's not his job.
A little bit.
Not
of
his
both.
kid.
I think the officer said it right. It's a little of both.
Not his kid.
Not his kid, but you know, like you wouldn't serve beer, you wouldn't hand him a beer.
It's a little different.
But if you're sitting next to your kid at a restaurant at TGI Fridays, you'd sit the beer in front of your. You know, my dad had beers in front of us all the time. Nobody said anything.
But what is it up to the server? If let's say the kid said, "I want to try some of that," and the mom says, "Okay," and lets him try, but can the server go?
It probably would say that's not allowed in TGI
this
Fridays.
Restaurants. Yeah. Anonymous, you're talking about Delta 9 and the price of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to answer Demm's question that a bag of edibles, probably that size, runs about $20. But you only need to eat probably 2 or 3 Skittles to get the full effect.
Well, the kid...
Come on, Mama.
And
she paid $20 for that bag?
She paid $20 for what she thought was Skittles?
But she probably just said, "Swipe it, Johnny." Like, you know, we're all, you know, we've had some people say they're guilty of not looking at the bill.
Let me say this. I think Mama might have been buying some other things with it.
Oh, well, that could be.
That she doesn't want to throw that in there.
You think they were Mama's candies?
I'm not saying it could be candies. It could have been beer or something else. But to not notice a $20 bag of Skittles, you got to be buying some other things mixed in there.
I'm not sure about that. She may have, if you get 3 sandwiches, sides, drinks, and beer, and that little bag of candy, and the bill comes up to be whatever it is, $110,
$50, $55,
whatever it is. I mean, we've heard these two in here saying, "Swipe it, Johnny," all the time. They just say we don't look at the bill.
But I think if you're getting a couple sandwiches, you know the sandwiches are around $10 a piece. You know, let's say you're buying a big single beer, maybe that's $10. So you're looking at 40, 50 with tax. If your bill's suddenly 75, you're not going to be like, "Well, how much were those Skittles?"
No, I don't think that. Sometimes if you're in a hurry and you're doing it, and you've got if you've got your, I think a lot of people are just, "I'm going to pay the bill and maybe look at it later."
Swipe it, Johnny.
I mean, we've heard many people say that. I do not fault her for not looking at the bill. I mean, it is $20, and you're saying it must be nice. I heard B.B. Shea say the other day he never looks at the bill; he just pays it. You know, he just pays the bill, and then later he
pays and prays.
He pays and prays. That's what he does.
There's something there.
You know, that's just. I guess that's what he does.
Is there something that the is she just letting people know, or does she want something? The mother.
She just wants. She said
trying to tell her story.
She's just telling her story.
Okay.
She's hoping it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Appreciate that.
She's basically saying, beware if you're at a restaurant like this and you buy candy because it could be laced with it.
Right.
JT, you're talking about Delta 9. Go ahead.
All right. So it is a THCA product. So it's grown from hemp, but when you put decarb it or you put a lighter to it, it becomes real THC. So when you buy it in the gas stations or the tobacco shops, they'll say Delta 9 less than 3%. But when you put fire to it, it becomes real THC. So, you know, you get the psychoactives and everything to it. But when it's just, you know, before you put heat to it, there's nothing. You can eat it. And it won't mess you up. But when you decarb it or put fire to it, that's when it becomes real THC.
All right, but this kid
ate them.
He ate them.
He didn't smoke Skittles.
He didn't smoke any Skittles.
He smoked the rainbow.
Ate them. He
Right
ate
there
them.
at the table?
He burned the rainbow.
Can't imagine that. Must do a little something to you.
Kid's got a lighter too? Something's not right.
That's right. He's eating these things. Thank you, JT. Well, maybe he just got sick, but he said his mind was wobbly.
Amen, bro. That's what you want.
You heard her say that. Anonymous, you're talking about the cost of the Skittles and the Delta 9. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was my first thought, was how much did these Skittles cost? I mean, I would have noticed that because my kid picked up a bag of freeze-dried Skittles at the Five Below store, and they were, you know, $6 with tax, and I was just like, wait a minute. For candy? No. I would have paid attention to the cost. That would have been my first red flag.
I hear you. Yeah. I think a lot of people are like that. I think some people don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I'm not going to criticize her too much for not knowing there was an extra $20 on the bill. And we don't know that it cost $20. Somebody just said that. Possible. I mean, I don't know that I would have noticed that or not.
Hi, yeah, is this the common market? I'd like to place a to-go order.
Biggie, you're on the air.
Oh, sorry.
That's that could be a red flag if you look closely enough at it.
Maybe you should go investigate.
Investigate. And see. She says that she just feels that the guy behind the counter should have said something to them.
The kid's okay. The kid came out.
Kid's fine. Kid's all right. They did have to take him to the emergency room.
Kid came down.
Kid's fine. Kid's fine now, but it was a wobbly few hours on that. You know,
These freeze-dried candies, though, are actually hot right now.
Freeze-dried?
Right? Is that what they are?
This is a big deal right now on like TikTok. We just tried some on a podcast I'm on.
Freeze-dried
Skittles, Starburst, Now and Laters. It's all the fruit.
Oh, so
candies.
that's what he thought he was getting.
So I think he thinks he saw this bag and he thought, I want to try these freeze-dried candies
at age 6.
This is somebody had sent us some, said you guys should try this.
Are they good?
It's pretty good. It's different. It's wild.
As a consumer, what does the freeze drying do to
just
a Skittle
puffs
or
it
Now
up.
and Later?
It's weird. It's definitely a weird. I can see where kids are into this. Very weird texture. Good. Still tastes like the candy you're trying. Now it's not sanctioned by these like Skittles or anybody. So they rename certain things.
Oh, I see.
You know, Orbit Puffs.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute now.
Yes.
Okay.
That seems to bump with legal to me.
Well, that's the thing.
You're taking some Now and Laters and freeze drying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't understand that.
Bastardizing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but we got a bunch sent to us to try, and it was different. It's a weird experience.
Did you get wobbly brain?
I did not get wobbly brain. I even made that joke. I said these aren't going to mess us up, right?
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
and,
was a thing.
No.
So it is kind of a hot thing. So I think the kids saw them, pointed. I still think price wise, I wouldn't pay $20 for it. I think the mom's right where it was $5. That would be more reasonable.
Of course.
But I can see where a kid would see these and go, well, I've seen that on TikTok, so I want to try them too.
But all I'm saying is if you are expecting to pay $75 for all the stuff, and we have no idea what else they bought. It's a market. So they could have $150 worth of the stuff. And if the bill comes up to $167 instead of $150, I don't think you compute that much and go back line by line, item by item at the moment. Later, if you say, "Oh my God, these were $20," yes, then you say that's too much.
Well,
so
I
I'm gonna
hate
give her a
big
pass on
government,
that.
but should big government be regulating a little more on this?
If it was, yes, I think government should regulate
everything.
Yes. Yes.
Except media.
Yes, that's right.
Which has its own set of rules.
That's right. Well,
That's right.
we
And
are
we have
regulated.
rules.
We
We
are
are
regulated, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know how many times I want to curse on here?
Yes, I do. I know exactly what you're talking
Are you
about.
freaking kidding me?
I mean,